This is PvP. Now we're doing PvP. Let's get things out of the way here. Let's very quickly, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and get this out of the way, guys. We're going to add a row below this. This is going to be what I like to call grief tier. So in other words, if you play this in PvP, you are borderline reportable. Okay? Number 1, Harbinger. It was actually really good at the start. It was actually one of the ones that was very promising. Okay? Because it had great sustain, it could pump, right, as well, because it could automatically heal itself very nicely with draining its shroud. They changed that. Okay, they removed the healing on it, so it has 0 sustain now. And honestly, it is a complete noodle. It is useless. It is awful. Naru tried to make it work. Nos tried to make it work. It was unusable, okay? Like, you're not, in its current state, you aren't playing this. It's awful. They tried to make it better by making it, like, have more interactions with Blight and do a lot of damage, but no, it is terrible. Even compared, a lot of the Ender Dragon specs are pretty weak in PvP and PvE and World War in general compared to the current meta. But even in, I did a show match, right, with just Ender Dragon specs between Team USA and Rank 55. I'm sorry, between the French Worms or the Lakers, right? And even compared to other POS specs, it was hot garbage, okay? Right, let's go to the top. S tier is actually Spectre and Vindicator. Thief is God tier right now. Spectre, Daredevil is honestly the best. In fact, we need to reverse the order here because Thief is easily the best spec in the game right now in PvP. Daredevil, to be specific. And it dominates the meta completely. And Spectre is a bit like Daredevil, but it is way better in 2v2s and 3v3s. Right? Okay? Spectre, it's very good. I talked to Cinderner about this. He says it's ridiculously broken, okay? And it's amazing, right? It destroys everything. It farms hard. But there you go. Vindicator as well. Absolutely insane currently. The dodge mechanic is really scary. It's actually insane. The amount of barrier you can give, it's like a 3k baseline barrier, AoE with a heal. And Rev is already really good. You do 1 million damage. Greatsword does a lot of DPS. You do a lot of damage. Vindicator, very strong in PvP. You destroy everything. It's good. Okay. But that's the thing with Thief. I actually suspect, just a little note here, I actually suspect very strongly that Spectre's going to get nerfed a lot. I think that they're going to lean more into the support element. I think the damage on Spectre is why it's so nutty in PvP right now for like 1v1s, 2v2s. And of course, you get tankiness now because you tank damage with your Shroud. So, yeah, it's very overnumbered currently. But that's how we're rating it, right? Like, in its current state, it's incredibly strong. Right? Okay. Mechanist. Mechanist. This one's a bit hard to evaluate because there was a bug that basically gave, or a weird interaction with Sanctuary Rune that basically generated an infinite alacrity. And this obviously made it better. However, I think basically every 1v1 spec in the game right now would farm it in PvP. I think Weaver would delete it. I think Grim said that Catalyst beats it as well, if it doesn't have the alacrity bug, potentially. I don't actually think it's very good. Zan said it's playable. Talked to Zan about Mechanist. It's like all right. It's playable, but I honestly think Mechanist isn't good. I think the problem is that if you don't have the mech, right now you're basically an engineer with a core engie with no tool belt and bleh, right? You're useless, right? Like without the mech, you don't do anything. Yeah, you can resummon it, but the problem is I think that because all of your power is invested into the mech, you kind of have a hard time surviving, particularly when you get +1 in PvP, you know, as a duelist. Obviously, you can definitely like be pretty solid in 1v1s, but I honestly don't think it's good. I'm going to give it C tier. I don't think Mechanist is very strong in PvP, actually, at all. It's not good. I don't think it wins 1v1s hard enough, and I don't think it has, like, amazing matchups everywhere. In the team fight, the mech is just going to get absolutely fisted and destroyed by the current meta, and I think you're very vulnerable. You're very vulnerable to getting +1, so I don't think Mechanist is very good in PvP, as of right now. Let's see. Catalyst. This is an interesting one. Oh man, I actually don't even know where to put this. The problem is we're in a very, very weird meta where duelists and side noders aren't good, and this is kind of what Catalyst is, like this duelist that can also dish out loads of area damage and area buffing. So it has the ability to handle itself quite nicely in these slightly larger fights. But I think it's better than Mechanist. But I think the current metagame is very inhospitable to Catalyst. I do not think that Catalyst would do very well in the current metagame. It's better than Mech, but I think the current meta as of right now forces it into C tier almost, because I think it just can't compete in the current situation. Maybe it goes to B tier. Maybe it's in B tier right now. But I think it would really struggle right now in PvP, for sure. Very close. I think I'd be inclined to give it C tier, I think, in the current meta. Again, if the meta became more side node oriented, it would get promoted up a lot, I think. It would like go up big, in my opinion. But as of right now, I think it will be kind of easy to focus down and get battered. I think you're going to get bullied. If you play this, you're going to get bullied. In this, you know, not as bad as Harbinger, but I think you're going to get a little bit bullied. Oh no, maybe we'll be generous to the Ellie mains again and give it B tier, but I'm going to leave it in C tier for now, right? We'll talk about it later, okay? Willbender is grief tier, okay? It doesn't do anything, chat. It doesn't do damage, it doesn't have sustain, and it's not actually as fast or as good at being a thief as Thief. Like, it is grief tier. Don't play Willbender. It's bad, okay? It's not good. Nope, it just doesn't do anything right now. It's just incredibly undertuned, right? You're really, really fast, but the thing that you run towards is your own death, right? You can go towards your enemy really quickly, and when you arrive there, you die instantly, right? So you deliver 5 points to the enemy team. It's not good. Virtuoso, I think it actually had a little bit of potential, to be honest, but I don't think it's good as of right now. It's not as good as the other Mesmer specs. Oh, it's probably better than Chrono, to be fair. But it's not better than Mirage in the current meta, in the way it is right now. It's not. It's too counterplayable, right? It's too easy to play around it, and it's a big glass cannon. It just dies, right? Yeah, we're in a tanky brawler meta. Virtuoso is not that. To be honest, it just doesn't really have a function currently. I think it has potential. I think it needs like a trait line looked at it, and then maybe it can function a bit better. Maybe it deserves C tier. Maybe D tier is harsh, but I think I have to give it D tier, right? Otherwise, it's a bit of a meme. It's a bit of a meme right there, actually. Now we get to the interesting things. We get to the spicy memes. So, okay, so. Blade Sworn and Untamed. Let's take a look at this situation. What are we looking at here, chat? What are we doing? It's not good, right? But it may well be a C tier. It might be another C tier. I don't think it's B tier. It's not good. Boy said you wouldn't play it in the current meta. Right? It's not grief tier. It's solid. You can do like some meme shit and one-shot people with it. Okay? You just smash people with it and one-shot people. Again, it's held back by the fact that side noders aren't really good currently. Hopefully that does change at some point. A lot of these ratings change if that's the case. But as of right now, I don't really see it being particularly good for this. Blade Sworn, I think, actually might be B tier. Right? Blade Sworn functioned really well. It performed extremely well in the tournament. It's like a full-on hybrid. It like supports, does damage, and it's actually good in the 1v1 as well. Like even into kind of modern duelists, it does pretty well. I think I'd give Blade Sworn a B tier here. I'm not sure if you'd... I don't think you'd play it in the current meta right now. I don't think it would see a lot of play, but I think it is honestly one of the better ones from a PvP perspective. It performed extremely well It performed very, very well in the Ender Dragons tournament. It was very valuable there. It was running a lot of shouts. It had support. It had damage. It had CC. It was pretty survivable. It had good kite potential. So I think we go ahead and give that a B tier there as well. For sure. And Untamed... Oh, man. Dude, am I being too harsh to Untamed here? That's my only thing I'm thinking about. Am I being too mean to Untamed? That's my big question here. I might be. I may well be. Because I quite like Untamed. Maybe I'm biased because I like it. Right? I like Untamed. It's cool. I like the ambush. I like the pet abilities. I think it's got a lot of potential here. It could be good. I might have to promote it to a low B tier, but no, I've got to leave it on C tier. I've got to be honest. We've got to be transparent here. It's not worse than Mechanist. I'm promoting it a little bit, right? Mechanist is the lowest of C tier. Like, Catalyst and Untamed can hang out with each other, right? Okay, that's where it is. It's core Ranger, but with a bit more team fight potential and less 1v1 potential, right? That's what it is. So, therefore, it goes in C tier. A little bit lackluster here. In PvP, a lot of the specs are really struggling, and the ones that are problematic, right, are definitely the grief tier ones. I think it's okay to have builds like not be amazing in every game mode. That's acceptable. I definitely think what we want to see is Spectre and Vindicator probably come down a little bit, and then kind of the D tier and grief tier should be improved. Honestly, you can kind of nudge these things up there, but I think where you want most builds to land is B tier, right? You want most things to be here, not really dominant, but like good. Like B tier is a good build, right? It's a solid build that you can really have some fun with and have a good amount of success with, even at a competitive level. Not everything's going to be S tier, right? When we say S tier, we mean competitive, right? That's going to be played at the top tier of gameplay. You know, and will really help you get your rating up there. It's going to be like the best thing you want to play there as well. But yeah, there you go. There you go. That's it. There's only one more tier list remaining, chat. Oh, this one's going to break my heart. My heart is going to be broken, right?